Film Slice Crew review.
Fantastic Beasts,
The Crimes of Grindelwald. More like Fantastic Podcast, The Crimes of Hollywood. Am I right? Hey-o.
Accio, amazing content.
Thank you. Hey team, Angus Draken here, and welcome to the Film Slice Podcast. I'm here, as always, with my co-host Kate Diggler-Wiggly Cane Dogs.
Hello.
And Brodley D. Broadman Richards. So Fantastic Beasts, Crimes of Grindelwald. Cane Dogs, you want to hit us up with that IMDb summary?
I will.
Also
Angus.
hosted by Angus Draken.
Oh, thank you.
The second installment of the Fantastic Beasts series, set in J.K. Rowling's Wizarding World, featuring the adventure of megazoologist, magizoologist Newt Scamander.
Megazoologist is really big.
Is he really big, or is he only interested in big animals?
Oh wow, that joke nearly died. You're lucky Angus laughed. Magi. That's what they call magic people, isn't it? Magizoologist.
No, I'm pretty sure that's Brandon Noodle.
I'm pretty sure it's just... Yeah, he's really interested in like 2-minute noodles. Jeez.
Is that an Australian brand?
I have no idea.
Probably.
Yeah.
Maggie. I've always pronounced it Maggie.
I've always
really?
said Maggie as
Yeah,
well.
double G.
It's
I've
a
got a
double
Maggie.
Maggie. Maggie.
I don't think there's an E. I think it's just an I, isn't
Maggie.
it? Maggi.
I'll look it up.
You know what? Not important. When did you see the movie, and what did you think?
When did you see the movie? What did you think? Do you like the movie? None of the shit.
Broadman, when did you see the movie, and what did you think?
I saw it last night. Unfortunately, because it is heading into summer in Australia, Woolworld's closed. For obvious reasons.
Obviously.
So I went to go and I had to see the bloody Waterworld. So
I thought you were gonna say like the Sheep Cinema or something like that. It would have been great.
Okay, bring up sheep for no reason. So I saw it last night, and I thought it was middle ground.
Middle ground.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 5.
There you go. Cane Dogs, when did you see the movie, what did you think?
I saw it. I got a pre-screening.
Ooh.
I saw it at a pre-screening with the GF and the GF's mother.
Very good.
This was very romantic. I'm not sure what to make of this movie. I enjoyed it, but it's a bit of a tricky one. I don't think it was like a 5 out of 10. I think out of 10 it was like a triangle. I have no idea what to make of the film. I enjoyed it, but I can't put my finger on whether that's because it was good or what. But yeah, we'll get into it, I guess. I'm not getting into it now, at the part where I get to tell you what I think. We'll get into it at a different time when you ask me. And I've had 5 minutes more over the 3 days to think about it.
Oh, the anticipation. I saw the movie... When did I see the movie? I saw the movie yesterday, I think. What's today? Yeah, I saw the movie yesterday.
Today's Monday.
Yeah, I saw the movie yesterday, and I thought this movie was absolute rubbish.
Yeah?
I thought it was a piece of crap.
Huh.
I thought it was a poor excuse for a film.
Really?
And we'll get into it.
No, I don't think... I think that's it. You want to wrap it up?
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening, everyone. Good luck. Say hi to your mothers for me, and Godspeed.
All of your uncles.
Lads, you know how every week I put up on Instagram and Twitter,
Yes.
when I remember,
believe I do.
what movie we're reviewing, and I ask our Slicey Slices what they thought of the film, if they've seen it, or if they haven't, or if they just wanted to chuck in anything, really. You know how that happens.
I know
good.
I know how that
Excellent.
goes sometimes.
Excellent. Well, I put it up perhaps a touch late. I put it up 4 hours ago. And unfortunately, we have got nothing from either Instagram or Twitter.
We do have something on Facebook.
Oh, we do have something on Facebook, though.
The saving grace.
Oh, don't speak too soon. So I put up the trailer, and I wrote, have you seen it? What did you think? And Kirby, long-time listener, wrote,
Herbster?
when did you see the movie? What do you think? Do you like the movie? Nah, this is shit. And
Very
that's
good.
That's what she wrote. With
I spoke to you,
so
I have
great.
Twitter as well. Someone on Twitter.
Someone on Twitter.
Someone on Twitter.
So,
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So
Right.
does that mean it's going to be 2 responses?
It is. Brody's right. Did you even guess?
No, it's just
You don't
my.
really
it's
need
just
to.
yeah, it's just my guess for every
Brody's
week.
got it as in like an.
It's
like
just locked in.
It's just like a direct deposit.
Okay, so this is from Andy Sporks at
That's a fake name.
Evo Modem.
That's also a fake name.
Replying to the Film Slice podcast, he says,
Ooh, there goes the only listener we have on Twitter.
he says, it was interesting to see a movie where the script was only a bunch of Harry Potter wiki pages,
Yeah.
which is very true. I feel that.
Sorry,
much.
Andy Sporks, son of Jim Falk and and Mary Spoon.
Spoon? That's a guy. Yeah.
Do you?
There you go. Thanks, Andy.
Do people in your family usually just combine the last names?
Yeah,
to come up with
Richards, obviously.
it? Yeah.
His mum's rich, and his dad
Did something. So dids.
Rich dids.
And obviously they thought that sounds ridiculous.
That's what our Slicey Slices thought of this week. Let's move on to our next segment. Man, we are ripping through this.
Don't worry, I think we'll have a bit
Just
of a
like-
large section somewhere
yeah.
in the negative, maybe.
Let's move on to our next segment. Who would you recommend it to? Would you recommend it? Who would you recommend it to? Cane Dogs, go.
I think those people that spend most of their waking moments reading like those Harry Potter those fan stories and stuff like that, in all of the fandoms and stuff like that, I think this is aimed at those people that really like the laws that aren't specifically canon in the film, but that sort of fandoms and fans have created around the films. I think people that really enjoy those sorts of stories and all the extra stuff that's been built around the Harry Potter films. I think this is a lot of payoff for them specifically, more than most.
I don't know if this film has any payoff anywhere.
I'm gonna.
But-
I know where you're coming from. The only reason I'm gonna disagree with that statement is because I had a little word with a bit of a Harry Potter fan, and he was basically saying that how disappointed he was in the first film when Grindelwald was kind of revealed.
Cast as Johnny Depp.
No. Casting doesn't matter. He's like revealed, and he kind of like he wasn't intimidating. He wasn't scary, and in the books and everything, he was always known as this kind of Hitler wizard of the 20s or 30s.
I have that problem
And-
with Voldemort though, is that
and he's
he
very
was
much-
never intimidating to me.
Well, the reason I liked, because I'm coming from this, I like the Harry Potter films. I liked all of them. I grew up with them. I'm not a super fan, but I watch them and I do get that kind of good feeling.
Yeah.
And I quite like them. And so watching the originals, what they did with Voldemort is that they didn't try to make him he was obviously the villain from the get-go, but every single film they added to why he's meant to be scary, right? Every single film they added another thing and another thing of people he tormented or people he's murdered or people he tortured, and so on until we get to the final films where they actually start killing major characters, right? And so when I was watching this film and watching the first one, I was thinking because they're doing a trilogy, right?
Yeah, one more.
So the next
Thank
one,
God there's not 7 of these.
yeah. So
coming
the
out.
next one's the final one, and they haven't added anything to the main villain of these films.
I think this movie is literally just setting up the final movie. This isn't a movie in itself.
It's so weird.
This is literally the middle of a story, but they haven't given us a beginning or an end.
So I reckon a lot of Harry Potter fans will be disappointed with this one and the previous one. So I would recommend this to a bit of a younger audience Harry Potter fan. Just because I feel like where the original Harry Potter movies went, I can't say anything, I never read the books, so I have no idea from that. But where the original movies went is they grew up, every single film they grew up more and more.
Yeah, similar with the books.
Right?
Yeah.
But these films feel like they're going back to some of the earlier films.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would totally agree with you, bro. I too have had chats with Harry Potter fans that have seen this, and likewise, they were just so disappointed with the film. They thought it was a bit of nothing, but I do see that visuals are great in this film. It looks awesome.
Yeah, it looks really nice.
It looks really nice. There's not much story to it, but for someone who's growing up just kind of learning about Harry Potter and this whole kind of world that Harry Potter is, yeah, for sure. I think they would like it. But other than that, not much.
There's so much
Anyway,
crap
we
they
should,
could
we should
cut
probably
out.
we should probably get into
Yes, we
get
probably
into
should
spoilers
get
and
into
talk about this
spoilers.
film. But that's where I'm
Let's dig in.
very much coming at this from a person who liked the original filmology. It's not a trilogy. I have no idea what to call it. A trilogy.
Septology?
Yeah. It was 8 films, right? So
8
an
films,
octology.
Octology.
Ugh. I don't want to call it an octology.
Would you just say the
Group.
HCU, the Harry Cinematic Universe?
The Harry, not even the
HBCU.
Potter. The Harry.
HBCU?
HBCU.
That sounds yum.
Wow.
All right, yeah, let's head on into spoilers.
Oh, what a cool sound effect, Angus.
All right, we are in the spoiler section where we dissect and divulge everything about the film. You've been warned. God rest your soul. Broadman, Cinema Dicks.
Wait, are they dead?
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Presumably
you go
you're
into a cinema, right?
Uh-huh.
A cinema can seat, like the ones that I'm going to anyway, they can probably seat 300 people,
Easy.
if not 200 people.
not.
Cinema 1 at bloody
Okay.
Woolworld, at bloody Waterworld, can seat about, I think it can seat about 200 plus people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's probably about 100 people in cinema, if not 80, and you sit somewhere, you have to choose where to sit. Why do I always sit next to the Cinema Dicks? What is that? What sort of bad luck?
You're just like magnetized to dicks. You got a dick magnet. You're a dick
I'm a
magnet.
dick
You're
magnet.
a dick magnet.
Okay, so Dick Magnet, aka me,
Dick Magnet Brody.
sits next to 2 like teenage girls. They look like probably 17 to 19.
How terrible that must have been for you. Go on.
And they're on their phones through the whole film,
Ugh.
putting on the light to look for stuff they've dropped or whatever.
Stop dropping shit.
They're making the casual comments of like, oh wow.
Oh, he's hot.
It was like, oh my god. And I was like, oh yay. Just through the entire film, just a casual comment. Like when something happens, just like, I was like, oh, that was good. Oh, yeah, I'm excited to see this. And it's like, okay.
Oh, did you see what just happened just then on the screen that happened just then?
Oh my god. Talking,
Yeah, it kills.
phone, and then there were also a bunch of kids in the film that were very, very loud. And there was like babies that were crying. And it was just like, I was like, this isn't even a film that I really want to see.
Yeah. It's worth.
I sat
K-Dogs.
right next to them though. There was one seat between us. There was a seat between us, and they were having their phone. They turned the light on and everything.
When does it become your fault?
At some point, Brody, you've got to realize that you're the common denominator.
Yeah.
All right.
K-Dogs.
Yeah, I got one. I got a few.
Sure.
So we sat towards the front, so it's sort of like, almost stiff next door at the front of the cinema, and the entire row behind us, it was like a family of 30. I don't know how. There was like the entire row.
Breeders, not readers.
The entire row was like all seemed to be together, and they all seemed to be squabbling like a family. So it could be cousins and all sorts of crap. But
Yeah.
Sure, they
there
were
was-
just a bunch of turkeys?
the chairs that we were on,
The
reclining.
turkey community does really like Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Harry Squawker.
They're not a fan of chicken run there.
The Turkish community.
The turkey, yeah.
The chairs that we were on were reclining chairs, but they weren't the ones where like you push the buttons. They were-
Gobbledore? No, never mind.
Did you just say Gobbledore?
I was trying to think of a turkey pun with Harry Potter.
Gobbledore.
Oh, well.
Albus Gobbledore.
Wow.
That's another movie.
Before I keep
going.
going,
Yeah.
think of another, because I'm going to get halfway through
Well,
the sentence.
obviously, a bunch of people have house gobbles. There you go. Have a bit of a house. Are they called house goblins?
They're called house elves. But
House
yeah.
owls?
Yeah.
Ugh.
But there's goblins at the bank.
I know there's goblins. That's why I made the joke. I was like, I know there's fucking goblins.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a ugh.
Harry Plopper?
Plopper. What does Plopper have to do with turkeys?
You know, birds crap.
Harry Gobbler is
Harry Gobbler. Okay, yeah.
more along the lines.
Okay, hold on.
Hermione Grobler.
Yeah. Ron Gobbler. I don't know.
Ron Wobbler.
Professor McGlogler.
I was gonna go with Gobbler Weasley.
Very good. Okay, no,
Professor McGobblegle.
Professor McGobblegobble. Gobblegobble.
Thank you. We'll be here all week. All right, my mission
It's
from
funny
now on
because
is
the only word we know to
gobble.
associate with turkeys is
Turkey.
gobble.
Okay, dogs. What is your most positive thing about the film?
All right. Jude Law was one of my most positives. I really love Jude Law as Dumbledore.
I was disappointed because I really liked Jude Law as Dumbledore, and he got fuck all screen time.
Yeah.
Time. Yeah.
I
I wanted to see so much more.
don't know if I like him as Dumbledore, but I like Jude Law very much as an actor, and I thought he had nowhere to go with this film.
Yeah.
And so I felt like he was just there reading lines and and he had like no kind of any freedom to make the character his own, and so he was kind of just, he could have been played by anyone. I would have enjoyed it as equal.
I think the only thing that I'd be happy about is if I found out these were going to be 7 films, is if Dumbledore was going to be the main character. I did really enjoy Jude Law's Dumbledore. I didn't have that big a problem with Grindelwald either. I must admit, I didn't hate this film, I think, nearly as much as you guys did. I had a good time with it, generally speaking. Being someone that isn't that big a fan of any of the Harry Potter films, I sort of don't read too much into them, because every time I read into them, I get in trouble with all my friends that are Harry Potter fans. So, just watching a movie for what it was without making sure it made any sense. Yeah, no, I liked Grindelwald because when they cast Johnny Depp, I really hated Johnny Depp. Specifically because he only Jack Sparrows it now. He did...
And try to smuggle his dogs into the country.
God, put it down, I say.
Bit harsh. We know you're listening.
We know you're listening. No, I wouldn't say I found him intimidating, but I absolutely think I prefer him over Voldemort, because we never see Voldemort do anything that makes me feel like Voldemort's powerful. Whereas at the very least, seeing Grindelwald sort of manipulate his way out of a carriage at the very beginning and sort of heist it and take it for himself, and then manipulating Queenie, I really enjoyed that. I think he has quite a presence. I do hope that we get to see him go up against Jude Law's Dumbledore in the next film, but I'm
for sure.
quite certain that we probably won't get them in the same scene for more than a minute. I just don't think they'll get the payoff.
I think maybe that's where it's kind of climaxing to, though, because
Yeah,
they're like,
it's gonna
at
climax-
the end of
yeah.
this film, they're
It's
like,
gonna be
oh,
their
they
fight.
can't fight, but now they've got this thing, and like, can you break it?
Except
yeah,
since
maybe.
they're following Newt Scamander, for some reason I think something will happen. Like Dumbledore will gear up to be like, all right, I'll take him on. And
He'll
then last
gear up.
minute- He'll gear up.
He's got like 4 wands in like each in like different like pockets.
Yeah. He's just smuggled like a bunch of phoenixes in his jacket.
I want to see Dumbledore walk out of a door. He like kicks the door open, steps out, and he cocks his wand.
No. He cocks a phoenix. I think for some reason, I reckon it'll get to the point where he's going to face off against Grindelwald. Something will happen, and he'll be like, Newt, you'll have to do it.
Fair.
Those are my positives.
Birdman.
Positives. Okay, so towards the beginning of this film, there's a scene where Scamander is going in for an interview, basically to see if he'll be allowed to travel internationally again. And before that interview, every time they shoot someone talking to Scamander, they shoot it really, really close up, and their face takes up the entire frame.
And they're looking straight into the camera.
And I loved it so much. I thought it perfectly conveyed how Scamander feels when he's talking to people without just saying it.
Yeah.
So it was like a subconscious thing of like, is like their face is taking up the entire frame, which is quite confronting. And it's exactly how Scamander feels when he's talking to people, because he's socially awkward. And I thought that was amazing. It was an amazing decision about from whoever was filming that.
Yeah.
And I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I noticed that at the start as well, and I was like, oh, this is filmed weird. But then, like, I actually thought about it, and they kept on doing it. I'm like, okay, no, I see what you're doing. Yeah, good
it was
call,
an active
good call.
choice.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
what's weird is that it's not consistent, and I feel like this film was filmed by like 4 different crews. Because
Who's the director? Do we know?
The director was
Shall I look it up?
yeah, look it up. I'm never gonna remember their name.
All I've got looked up at the moment is Maggie
David
Noodles.
Yates.
David Yates.
David Yates?
Yeah, and I have no idea what else he's done,
Yatesy,
but I've
yeah.
definitely heard of his name before.
He's done Harry Potter. He did The Legend of Tarzan, the new one. He's done Harry Potter. He's done Harry Potter. He's done a lot of Harry Potter.
Yeah, but those shots in that scene was definitely the highlight of the film for me.
Angus.
My highlight of the film was the visual effects. I think the visual effects were like classic like Harry Potter, especially towards the end of the Harry Potter
Classic
films,
massive
like
production films.
just really the visual effects does a really good job of just kind of bringing you into this world, and this is just how it is. It's almost like not fantastical because it's so fantastical, and you just like, yeah, this is what happens, and I just really like that part of the film, and that is the only part of the film that I liked.
Right.
Wow.
Let's move on to negatives.
Oh, Jesus.
K-Dogs.
I kind of don't want to go
Ease
first.
us into the negative.
I can go first if you like.
Okay, Broadman.
Yeah, it's not that I don't have anything I don't like about the film. I really struggled to, when I left this film, everything, I remembered it as a blur. I can't remember what happened and when. I just walked out and a thing had happened.
May I go then? Because
Yeah, go for it.
my biggest negative is that nothing actually happens in this film. This film is called The Crimes of Grindelwald. He didn't really commit any crimes besides maybe, escaping from prison.
I feel that about a lot of
Like-
the Harry Potter titles, though.
Yeah, but there wasn't that much to have Grindelwald in the title. Like, you've got Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone and Harry Potter in this. It's about Harry Potter, but I didn't really find out a lot about this character. I didn't really know that much about this character. And it wasn't like the plot didn't really follow anyone specifically. Like it wasn't just about Newt. Like if it was just from Newt's perspective, that would have been cool. But like then it jumped to Grindelwald and it was like, oh, here's a bit for Grindelwald now. And
It's really-
At
here's
this,
a bit for
at this point,
Dumbledore. And...
after watching 2 of the 3 films in this trilogy, I still do not know what Grindelwald's motivations are.
Yeah.
I don't know why
yeah.
he's doing any of this.
And there's absolutely no character development in this this film whatsoever.
No.
It's literally like the problem is that the original concept came from like a backstory in one of the Harry Potter books. It's just like, oh, Dumbledore's like this because in his past this happened, and it's like, a little
It's not
chapter into it.
fully
It's not.
fleshed out.
It's
Yeah.
not 3 movies worth of content. So
That's how
the
I
problem
feel about
is
The
that they're
Hobbit.
like they're stretching it out, and they're like, this name, like, I'm like, Lestrange, yeah, that seems familiar, but they kind of just go like, yeah, this name,
That's what I'm
wink,
saying. A
as
lot
if
of it
you're
is-
like meant to know it and
Yeah.
stuff, and like they just put a whole bunch of things that only fans will really get, and as a result, there's no story to it. It's literally just fan service.
Do you
but
think this
the
film
fans
will
aren't
be
happy because it's not.
divisive?
Say again?
Do you think this film will be divisive?
No,
I don't think anyone
No.
cares enough about this
I
film
don't-
for it to be divisive.
Yeah,
Yeah?
No.
I don't think. From what I've heard,
Yeah?
not a lot of people care for this film.
Okay.
Yeah.
What have I got on?
My main problems with this film, my negatives, is a combination of 2 things.
Yeah.
The first thing is the modern film dilemma, which is just put it in because it looks cool.
Yeah.
And the second thing is setup and payoff.
This got a 7.1 on the IMDb. Is that okay?
Nah, no
It
good.
doesn't really deserve that.
Potentially divisive.
So it's a combination of those 2 things. And so I find it strange, because it was written by J.K. Rowling, who we know is a decent writer, that she didn't write setup and payoff for her main villain. For example, you don't see her villain kill anyone. All of the killing from the villain is done via proxy. He creates a big wall of fire which people walk into and die, or just that flicks out and kills people. He never really goes ahead and kills them himself. He walks into rooms and he's like, his followers kill people. And there's even a scene where he walks into a room with a child in it, a child muggle.
He walks out and then someone else does it.
He walks out and someone else supposedly kills them.
Right at the start as well, when he's escaping, he actually saves.
Saves
Yeah.
the guy that
Someone,
he's going to
like-
throw off.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot
So-
of his intention isn't to harm people that are whatever purebloods. Is that
Yeah.
what they're called?
But it's very confusing, because this is the person that has been set up as this great villain, and he hasn't done anything villainous.
One of the things that I was thinking when this film was titled The Crimes of Grindelwald, in the last film we realized that some things happen around muggles and then they just like erase the memories of them. And I thought it would have been incredible if Grindelwald just started walking around through the Muggle world, destroying shit and killing people. Like, if there's a whole cover-up in, like, the Muggle world of a stray wizard that just went, nah, why hide? And he just walks in and just, like, robs a bank and then kills a bunch of Muggles or some shit like that. And then they have to, like, defeat him and then cover it up. And there's, like, an entire year of a wizard that pretty much decimated the Muggle world. And people didn't notice because it was halfway through World War II. They just changed the memory to being like, oh, it got bombed or something. Mm-hmm. That would have been incredible. If you pick a city that got bombed in World War II, or just a city that was decimated, or just a part of the world that was sort of really hindered in World War II, and just say, no, that was straight up Grindelwald just went in, decimated that entire city. Mm. We eventually sort of suppressed him, and then we just had to, like, erase all your memories.
I would have also liked to see this just being a wizarding war film of the two sides at war. Like, casting spells at each other, going into hiding in, like,
strategy kind
in, like,
of
Europe,
stuff.
and them trying to it's weird. It's a kind of an odd film.
Yeah.
And there's one moment in it where I thought it could have had a saving grace, but it didn't. And it's when during the huge convene between all of the people that are possibly going to follow Grindelwald, he takes an inhale from some weird.
It's a bong. It's a skull bong.
Skull bong.
Yeah, weird.
There's a hot
weird
for
skull
anybody
bong.
who knows what this is. There are Hot Toys action figures, and they just released the Hot Toys action figure prototype images of Grindelwald, and he comes with the skull and the little thing. And there's a picture of him, and every single person's like, "Why does he come with a skull bong?" So now it's Grindelwald and the skull bong.
So that's
the name of the next film.
It's the name of the next film.
It's
It's just Grindelwald getting high.
He inhales and then he exhales, and you see visions of the future.
Yeah.
And the visions of the future is of World War II, of nuclear explosions and a giant war that's about to happen. And I was like, oh, he's going to make the case that humans can't take care of themselves.
That's what I was thinking.
That they're going to need some sort of person who's smarter than them to rule over them to save them. And I was like, oh, that's a really smart idea. I actually really like that. That he's going to be the one who wants to save us from World War II. And then that'll make people living now, who knows what happened in World War II, think maybe Grindelwald isn't that bad.
Yeah.
He actually wants to save people. But nope.
Yep.
He just used it all as evidence of this is our enemy. I think he says, this is our enemy, this is what we're up against.
Yeah. Agreed. Kane Dogs, do you have any other negatives to add on to the massive pile of negatives?
Not so much. I really liked Newt Scamander's brother, and my negative with that is I would have preferred to see him in the first film, so that there was some consistency with that character's existence. Because I was like, oh, he has a brother.
It doesn't make sense, like, and the whole love triangle that happened there.
Oh, that didn't feel...
They never go into it, so it doesn't...
Like,
so you get nothing out of it. Yeah.
And I feel like when she died at the end, you were meant to feel something, but I'm like, I guess she's gone now.
I think there was meant to be camaraderie between them. I was really confused, because as you mentioned earlier, her name was Lestrange, and I was like, oh, she must be, like...
Related,
like the ancestor of Bellatrix Lestrange. And then they killed her. I was like, guess not.
Yep. It's like they just put in these random things that you're meant to go like, I see where you're going, and it just doesn't happen.
And the storyline of why what is it, Tina and Newt aren't together, it's because Tina saw in a newspaper, and it's like that felt like so much of like a TV show throwaway plot line.
And the worst thing is, like,
they didn't resolve it.
They didn't resolve it, and they didn't explain what it was at the start as well. Like, you have to watch the first movie to understand their relationship.
Yeah.
Nicholas Flamel is in this movie, which when we watched it, my girlfriend was like, oh, Nicholas Flamel. And then he did very little.
He did bugger all.
And then the one thing he did do could have been done by anyone.
Yeah.
That was kind of annoying. I would have preferred if he sort of stood up to Grindelwald, and even Grindelwald was taken back by the fact that Nicholas Flamel showed up.
Yeah.
So
an
Flamel,
Obi-Wan kind
he
of
made the
thing?
Philosopher's Stone? Is that him?
So he invented the Philosopher's Stone and is immortal as long as the Philosopher's Stone exists. So when it gets destroyed in the first Harry Potter movie, Nicholas Flamel gets killed, apparently.
Okay. Didn't explain that in the film.
Yeah, no, apparently it gets explained in the first Harry Potter movie. I can't remember. Apparently Dumbledore says it in a passing line. But the point is his character is meant to be legendary. So it would have been great if Grindelwald saw him there and went, oh shit.
Screw this.
Yeah, like if he had if there was some gravity to his character. I also don't think we can talk about this film without at least once mentioning the second Dumbledore,
Oh, the Flash.
the Flash being Dumbledore,
Yeah.
Flash Dumbledore,
Ezra Miller.
Ezra Miller, yeah, being Dumbledore. Did anyone not see that coming?
A mile away.
I was like, I didn't picture it as Dumbledore because I forgot there was even a second one.
I didn't.
But I was just like, well, he's going to be someone we know, and no matter who it is, I'm going to be disappointed.
It felt very much like in the first movie. It didn't feel to me like it was even a question. Like I didn't even realize in the first film that was a mystery. Like, you know, when they did the first when they did the Force Awakens, everyone was like, I wonder who Rey's parents are. When they did the first Fantastic Beasts, I wasn't like, I wonder who Ezra Miller's family. Like, I wonder what his birth name is. Like, I didn't realize that was a thing.
You didn't know it was a question that we needed to.
And then this,
be
I was just like, oh, he's an orphan. Great. I wasn't like, oh, he's definitely one of the 4 big names. And then in this film, he started looking for his family. I'm like, all right, well, he's either going to be a Grindelwald or a Scamander or... Like, the only other thing I was thinking is he bears quite a striking resemblance to, like, Snape. And I was like, maybe he could be like, you know, I thought Snape. That would have been cooler. An old Snape. He's just like, what's your name? Snake, it said on the card. They might have misspelled.
I find it weird when...
The minute though that Dumbledore was like, I have siblings and I think they're dead. I'm pretty sure one of them was a female. I'm like, oh, yeah, he's a Dumbledore.
The minute that Dumbledore's in this movie,
you're like, oh, he's a Dumbledore.
well, you're in here for something.
But that's also so pointless to me because he finds out he's a Dumbledore and then he's like, oh, now I've got a wand and I'm super powerful. I'm like, no, I thought you were powerful because of some other random shit.
Yeah.
You can't just be a master wizard because your last name is Dumbledore. Dumbledore isn't Dumbledore because
that's one of those things where it's like, this is a weird decision to me. And I find it the same thing, no matter what film you see, if they do a prequel or some sort and then make like, oh, this person is Skywalker or this person is a whatever, where it's just like, oh, I guess you have to be a member of a specific family to be powerful.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me feel shitty.
See,
it's literally like a monarchy. Like
and it just feels like, okay, it feels like whoever wrote this is actually on the side of purebloods.
Yeah.
You know, and I was just like, that's a weird
It's like, telling a bedtime story to your kid, just being like, yeah, now just remember, you won't become anyone because you've got a shit last name.
You've got a shit last name.
Yeah, right?
All right, I think we might end it there. Seeing as this movie is such a hand-fisted attempt at just putting every little nuance from the Harry Potter novels and books and fandom, trying to fit that into here, what is the next film going to have? Let's make our prediction.
Snape's ancestors. It'll have Snape's ancestors and it'll have Malfoy's ancestors. And what
Actually,
was...
that's true. We haven't seen the Malfoys yet.
No. So it'll be like, my name's Newt Malfoy. The long lost...
Newt Malfoy.
The twice removed roommate of Newt Scamander. And he'll...
Twice removed.
And he'll also...
He just got removed 2 times.
He'll also be played by the same actor.
Newt just moved twice.
Thank you for listening to the Film Slice podcast. If you enjoyed this, you can find us on other mediums such as Instagram and SoundCloud and Twitter and iTunes and YouTube and Facebook.
Petrificus, don't tell us.
If for any reason you didn't like this, and I don't know why, because this was proper gold, we promise the others will be better. Goodbye, everybody. Say hi to your uncle for us. What did I miss? What was that?
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Okay, bye.